Hello, I'm Brian Rose, the founder of Biohackers United, and today it's part of a series about how to increase your body's vibration, but we're gonna look at brain frequencies today. Basically, how you can alter your brain frequency and what exactly this can help you when it comes to both longevity and connecting to the Akashic Records or the ethereal plane itself. Now, before we get into it, I want to show you the longevity equation. So the longevity equation is just simply F for frequency over 1 over T for time. So frequency equals 1 over time, and your body's vibrational frequency can be measured, and a healthy body resonates between 62 and 70 megahertz. Now, the goal when it comes to longevity is to maintain the highest vibrational frequency for as long as possible. Now, getting specifically into the brain training and brain frequencies, my history when I was down in Phoenix, Arizona, I went through this particular program. It was called by Tanya, and they looked at my brain frequency with an EEG headset, and they discovered through my years of meditation that I had high levels of alpha brain waves, and part of the training was to be able to switch on beta brain frequencies whenever it was necessary. So a good example of when you want to use your beta brain frequencies would be like if you're in a meeting, or for example, like I'm doing the podcast today, just the video itself, you want to be in beta frequency. This is the actual headset that I used during the training. It's called the Versus headset. As you can see in the picture, it shows you the EEG scan, and then below that is just one of the different programs that you have to alter your brain frequency in order to keep the plane from flying. So you have to maintain that particular brain frequency. This is one of the training sessions that I did as far as the application. They basically, the Versus headset has exercises that reward users for creating a desired brain state, which mine was beta frequency. They use both visual and audio feedback, as well as the ability to proceed through the game itself. Now, it's designed to optimally focus and relax you as you enter and maintain that particular brain frequency. So what it will teach you is what it's like in a particular brain frequency such as alpha, beta, and you can become aware, especially in your daily life, what it's like as far as the different brain frequencies, which we'll get into all the brain frequencies in a minute. But when it comes to your body's vibrational energy, if you go back to both the past, present, and the future, when I talk about vibrational energy, you can go back to Pythagoras, when Pythagoras used musical instruments to treat the wounded soldiers on the battlefield, and they discovered that the ones that were treated with the musical frequencies were able to recover faster. That's been used. And then you can look at Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla use a mechanical oscillator with Mark Twain to help him both recover and get rid of different digestive issues that Mark Twain had. And there's a second video you can look up specifically about Mark Twain, his work with Nikola Tesla, on my channel if you're interested. But like I said before, your body itself, for it to be healthy, that particular range is between 62 and 70 megahertz. Now, what happens when your body drops below 58 megahertz? That's when viruses and diseases set in. Now, viruses, bacteria, and diseases, they all have their own particular frequency. So if you have a particular cold virus, that virus itself will lower your body's overall vibrational frequency. But what's fascinating is that the human vibrational frequency declines 2% per year as you get older. So you want to maintain as high as vibrational frequency as possible, because looking at it, once you start to drop below 58 megahertz, that's when a cascade of chronic conditions can set in. One of the things that I've done as part of my brain training itself is the Vipassana 10-day meditation retreat I did up in Washington State, which is you basically meditate for 8 hours a day for 10 days straight. What it will do is it elevates your alpha brain waves, and they were able to teach us how to transfer energy throughout the body itself. So I highly recommend it. It's actually free. The only thing they require is a donation, and you can find them throughout the United States. Okay, getting into higher level training when it comes to brain frequencies. We're going to look at each brain frequency, and then I'm going to start to talk about a protocol that I use specifically to elevate my brain frequency. But let's start from the lowest and go to the highest. So they discovered that epsilon has a frequency between 0 and 0.5 hertz. That's the frequency when you have a outer body experience, or when somebody passes away but they come back to their body. That has been measured as the epsilon frequency, and it's relatively new. The next frequency is delta. Delta is 0.5 to 4 hertz. That's when you're in deep sleep, and that's when both healing and unconscious dreams occur. Now, theta is between 4 and 7 hertz. That's deep meditation when it comes to creativity, intuition, light sleep. And then you have alpha brain waves, which meditation will truly help increase the alpha state. That is associated with being calm, focused, and it also helps with memory retention and learning itself. Now, the beta frequency, which is between 13 and 30 hertz, that is active thinking, alertness, concentration, and it's the state of brain frequency when you're in a conversation with another person, or like right now when I'm recording this YouTube video, I'm in beta brain waves. Now, There's higher level of brain training, which you can do, which is the gamma brain frequencies, which is between 30 and 100 hertz. That is associated with high level of cognition, with problem solving and peak focus and consciousness. Now, there's a new frequency that's been discovered, which is even higher, and that is Lambda frequency. So Lambda frequency is between 100 and 200 hertz, and it's very rare that people will experience the Lambda frequency. It's ultra fast brain waves that are associated with heightened perception, peak spiritual experiences. So that is some of the training that I've been doing, and we'll look at it. When it comes to increasing gamma brain waves, I highly suggest the Brain Tap device itself. The Brain Tap device uses both photon technology, light therapy, but then it uses hypnosis to get you into a relaxed state. And they have different sessions when it comes to the gamma brainwave sessions. I'll use this particular session, which you can pull up on the Brain Tap app. I'll post links in the description so you can check out the device, but then you can also download the application and then you can pull up this particular session. It will get you in the frequency between 30 and 100 hertz. It awakens the third eye chakra. The gamma frequency both syncs the left and right hemisphere of the brain. That's something that it's known for. So it syncs both sides of the brain's hemisphere. So that's something that's crucial when you're getting into the higher brain frequency training itself. Now, I want to provide an example. So when they took Tibetan monks and they put them into a brain scan to look at what brain frequencies Tibetan monks typically resonate at. And what they discovered was surprising. They discovered that the Tibetan monks, when they were awake and alert, they were in gamma frequency. Now, how they are able to get into the gamma frequency on a sustained basis is because they do deep meditation. So the brain frequencies have a reciprocal frequency that when you do deep delta or theta meditation, it will elevate the gamma brain frequencies when you're awake. So it has a reciprocal structure. I compare it to basically the ocean, because with the ocean itself, you have the water that is on top, and then you have the undercurrent. So with brain frequencies, and this is absolutely true, is you have the lower levels of delta and theta, which will ride underneath the higher frequencies of gamma, beta, and lambda. It will ride underneath. So if you're elevating the lower frequencies, it can amplify the higher frequencies, which Tibetan monks have been not only able to do, but they've scientifically measured it through brain scans themselves. So the training that I personally do, which you can download, I don't suggest this if you need to start out with the gamma frequency sessions and training first. It works. I've had an outer body experience with use of the higher levels of Lambda frequency. I've had greater thoughts. I've had that connection to the Akashic Records and the ethereal plane through the regular use of the Lambda training sessions. This is the IAWAKE application. It's only about $40 to download the application. I highly suggest using a headset like the Bose noise cancellation headset. Use some quality speakers or headsets when you're doing the Lambda sessions. Be aware it takes about an hour long because you just can't jump into the Lambda frequency all of a sudden. What it does is the first half hour of this session, it's slowly getting you higher and higher into a higher mental vibrational state. And then after about 30 minutes, the Lambda waves will really start to kick in. You'll notice a calming effect. It's truly a unique sensation. You'll have greater mental clarity when it comes to the greater connection to the Akashic Records or the ethereal plane. How you can know is on a daily basis, you'll have thoughts that come to you that might not be of your own. Now, these are thoughts and suggestions or something that you might be like on your mind or you might be thinking of, but all of a sudden a solution will come to you out of the blue. So this probably might happen to you on a random occasion. It's something that might to start to pick up if you do the Lambda frequency sessions themselves, but I'll do a separate video specifically when it comes to connecting to the Akashic Records, which is around 7.82 hertz, which is the Schumann resonance. But the Lambda frequency training will put you into a higher state of consciousness. And again, really start out with meditation, start out with the gamma sessions with the brain tap device. The goal of the Lambda frequency training ultimately is the Tibetan rainbow body itself, because in previous videos I talk about transitioning to the fourth dimension, and part of that process is through the higher brain frequency training. Part of that training is what I talk about in today's video with the different IAWAKE application. And when it comes to Tibetan monks, that when they accomplish the rainbow body, it's basically their body's vibrational frequency is elevated above gamma, and it hits those higher vibrational frequencies that the divine energy within the body completely just radiates with full energy itself. And the way they do this is through years of deep meditation to elevate those higher frequencies. What I'm showing today is a protocol that I go into these deep, high vibrational frequency training itself to put myself into that state of training for elevating my brain frequency, especially when it comes to the transition from the third to the fourth dimension. But this is part of my protocol. I Hope this helps, but post in the comments any questions you might have, especially when it comes to the use of the brain tap device, which uses both the hypnosis, the photons themselves. It can truly help you when it comes to anything from getting deeper sleep to getting either they have videos for both sports performance, it has videos for confidence, it has videos for increasing exercise, and it has videos, like I said, for relaxation, deep sleep, public speaking. But check it out, and I'll post links in the description for the IAWAKE Technologies application itself. And I want to build a community of people that are starting to increase their brain frequencies, get the Versus headset, or look at your brain waves to try to alter your brain frequency. Or what I've done is I've become aware of what brain frequencies I'm in at a particular state of being, and then how to change that brain frequency depending on what type of situation that I'm in. I hope this helps, and be sure to like, subscribe, because that darn algorithm, they suppress biohacking information whenever possible. So yeah, share the video and comment if you're doing something similar, and what's your thoughts and feedback on today's protocol and what success you've had. I'll do a separate video about my outer body experience as part of the high frequency training itself. That's had some truly profound effects when it comes to just the whole realization on how interconnected everybody is. But I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again.